We are glad to see you again on our channel. Today we have a recap of the movie from the world of fiction, Waterworld, released in 1995. I am pleasantly surprised by the plot of this movie. I advise you to watch this video to the end. I'm sure you will like it. So relax and enjoy the movie. One day, a sailor arrives at Atoll. He wants to sell the land he got during his dives, but unfortunately, he is mistaken for a spy connected to the most dangerous Waterworld gang, smokers. Thanks to the help of a girl named Helen and a little girl named Enola, he manages to escape his execution. Helen asks a sailor to take them to land, the future. The polar ice has melted and the water has covered the earth. The survivors have mastered a new world. Mariner went to the toilet in a bottle, strained the obtained consistency through the apparatus and drank water, and with the rest watered his tree, which grows apples. Then the man dived and something of his prey surfaced on the water. Another sailor who was near looked towards Mariner. He says he didn't steal anything. Mariner says that his hull punctured and recognizes the guy's boat. The stranger says everything is legal and the previous owner is already dead. Suddenly the guys see smokers, the most dangerous gang of the water world, that swim in their direction. The stranger juggled apples from Mariner's tree and laughed. Mariner quickly opened his huge sail and chased his ship. Smokers also speed up the boat. Mariner quickly took his catch from the water and at the full speed raced after a stranger and got ahead of him. Mariner sails to Atoll and shows its residents his find, a jar of land. In front of the guy, the gate opens and Mariner swims inside. The man tells Mariner that he has 2 hours and warns him not to create problems. Mariner shows the local boys a mirror and says that each of them will receive one if his ship is in order while he is away. The man tests the soil that Mariner brought and says it's clean and it's 3 kilograms and 200 grams. He wondered where Mariner had found so much. The man said that they would accept Mariner's soil as pure water and give 62 potions for it. Mariner says he wants twice as much. He gets paid. Mariner approaches so-called shop and meets there Helen, from whom he buys water. While he takes water, another sailor approaches him. A conversation ensues. Helen is approached by a girl named Enola with a tattoo on her back. Local people say Mariner that they have an offer for him. They show Mariner the girl and offer to impregnate her, but the sailor refuses. Locals begin to suspect something and think that Mariner is a spy of smokers. They tell the man that he will sail away only when Elder permits. One of the locals starts to wring Mariner's hands and sees that he has something with an ear. The guy screams that the sailor has a mutation. There is a stir, during which Mariner falls into the water. The hero gets entangled in the net, and the locals drag him up. The man tells the locals that they pay him for order, and this is mayhem. Mariner is put in a cage. Old Gregor runs up to Enola and looks at her tattoo on her back. Helen tells Old Gregor they cannot stay here. Old Gregor says that there is nothing in the books, and Enola is bringing good news. They only need to understand what it is about. Old Gregor approaches Mariner. He sees the membranes between the toes of a man and talks about his gills behind the ear. Old Gregor asks where Mariner got the soil and suggests that the ancient ones did something. That's why all the water came. Mariner tries to ask Gregor to help him get out in exchange for information about the land, but the old man is not so brave. Mariner starts rocking the cage. The next morning, the locals say that they have decided that Mariner poses an undeniable threat to them, and he is sentenced to be recycled, beginning to lower the cage into green water. As the Mariner is about to sink into the water, the locals notice the smokers coming and begin to take their places. Smokers surround Atoll. Deacon tells his men to start conquering Atoll. Smokers shoot the locals, use a helicopter to get through the wall into their territory. One of the attackers crashes into the cage with Mariner, and the man takes his knife, using it to escape. Old Gregor begins to take off in his constructed aircraft, and Helen and Enola fail to jump into it. The Mariner cell begins to sink. Helen asks the guy if he will take them with him if she releases it. Mariner leaves the cage. Between the local and the smokers, there is a clash and gunfire. Mariner manages to get to his ship together with Helen and Enola. They manage to swim away. Deacon counts his conquests. He is angry that primitive savages live here and have nothing to take from them. Deacon is angry when he learns that the Enola girl is missing. He says they are here for her. Deacon approaches the locals they have captured and says he wants to know everything about the girl with the tattoo, and who tells about her will live. One of the locals says that the girl sailed with Mariner and calls the guy an evolutionary error. Deacon says to find Mariner. Helen tells Mariner that he probably counts how much water he would have had if he hadn't taken them on board. The girl asks if Mariner was on land. Mariner says he knows where it is, but they will go there together, and the girl will be thrown overboard. He says that there is a hole in the boat, and there will be almost no water in the ship. Helen stands up for the girl and tells Enola to go down. Enola finds a lot of things downstairs and a suitcase with pencils. Helen says that Mariner has been in the sea too long and undresses. Mariner says they both don't have what he needs and leave. Helen starts aiming a gun at the guy. Mariner lowers the sail and the girl is under it. He hits her hands and she drops the weapon. Enola sees this. Smokers are getting used to Atoll. Deacon learns that there is a problem in the mine. He has said that there is very little black liquid left. That is, there will not be enough fuel. Someone says that there are too many of them. Deacon says that the main thing now is to find the girl, and do not spare fuel in searching for her. Mariner notices that Enola has found pencils and draws on the boat. He is angry, tells not to touch his things and his boat. Enola approaches Mariner and says that he is not afraid of him, and that he would not be so ugly if he had a haircut. Mariner throws the girl into the water. Helen says she can't swim and jumps after her. Mariner comes to them to get on board. Suddenly, a helicopter of smokers appears in the sky. They begin to fire at the ship. While Mariner is downstairs looking for some weapons, Helen finds them upstairs and shoots the helicopter. It deprives one of the smokers of life, but now the helicopter and the ship are tied with a rope. The helicopter flies around the ship and the rope is twisted. Mariner says it needs to be cut. Mariner climbs up and shoots the smoker. He loses control. The boat pulls hard and Mariner falls into the water. He angrily approaches Helen, cuts off her hair with a knife, and tells her never to touch anything on his boat. Deacon asks his man if there was a girl on the ship. He and the other smokers are starting to speculate where to intercept Mariner. Mariner sees the tramp's ship ahead. Helen says he can stop, maybe he has food. The man is very strange talking and begins to ask Mariner how much he will sell him a woman and a girl. The tramp pulls out the paper from the flask and says that he saved it for a special occasion. Mariner takes the paper and gives the tramp half an hour with Helen. Then he goes down after the stranger and says that the trade is canceled. The tramp starts to get angry and beat the boat and then pulls out a knife. Between the guys, there is a fight. A tramp falls unconscious. Mariner takes everything that can be useful from his boat and drops the body into the water. Deacon decides where to intercept Mariner. He speculates about whether the man knows what valuable cargo he has on board. Helen tells Mariner that she wants to catch fish while they wait for the wind. She asks him to show how to fish while Mariner is angry. Then the man takes some of his gadget and jumps into the water. Suddenly, near Mariner appears a huge fish, and he deprives it of life. Mariner, Helen, and Enola eat fish. Mariner even gives them water and says that today will rain. In the evening, Mariner turns on the music. Helen says that she is not really the mother of Enola. About 6 years ago, a basket came to their atoll with a small Enola. Helen says she wanted to keep her. She says that Mariner can't understand this because he is always alone. Mariner explains that his boat is his friend. The next morning, Helen sees that Mariner in the sea teaches Enola to swim. The man holds the baby on her back and says that the water itself will tell her how to move. Soon the girl begins to swim independently. Mariner sees the outlet ahead and starts shouting them that he needs parts. Deacon and his men sit there, along with the bodies of the merchants. Mariner understands that there is a trap and sees smokers under the water. Deacon sees that they are spotted and gives a signal. Smokers on motorboats rush to the ship. Mariner manages to bypass the spread of smokers' network. Deacon shoots and hits Mariner. Mariner gets angry and asks Helen what the signs on Enola's back mean. Helen says that there is a drawn path to land. Mariner pronounces that land does not exist and that he went very far but never saw it. Then he says he will show the land that is left. Mariner and Helen dive deep into the water. There, underwater, there is the whole city. Helen says after the dive that she did not know that all this time the land was under them. Mariner with Helen turn around and see the smokers. Deacon is already on their boat. He asks Mariner with Helen, "Where is Enola?" Deacon says that if they are silent, they will take the lives of both of them, and Enola shows up. Deacon takes the baby and tells them to kill the man and the girl. Mariner and Helen jump into the water. Under the water, Mariner kisses Helen, giving her some air. Smokers take Enola away. Mariner and Helen emerge and climb on the burned boat. Deacon approaches Enola and tries to make her talk. The man tries to learn how to read the map on the girl's back and calls Mariner names. Enola stands up for Mariner and says he's cool and will come for her. Helen asks Mariner why he did not agree to spend time with her when she offered. The couple kisses and makes love. Helen wakes up and says that she always thinks that the land is drifting on the water and therefore it is difficult to find. The woman says that she believes this because they are not made for the sea. They have arms and legs. They have to walk on the earth. Helen says that she misses Enola. Mariner says that the Ancient Ones are blamed for everything that happens, and he is what he is. He says he never gave up, no matter what they did to him. A little later, Old Gregor flies to the boat in his aircraft. He says that it is good that they set fire to the boat so he would not find them. Old Gregor throws the rope and Mariner with Helen climb up to him. Heroes fly to the local, or rather to those who survived. One of the locals says that all this is because of Enola and is not going to save her. Old Gregor notes that on the paper that Mariner brought, the inscriptions are in the same language as on Enola's tattoo. Old Gregor says that the numbers resemble the ancient way of locating, latitude and longitude, but as if they were written in reverse. Mariner says that this world did not arise as a result of a flood, and it just flooded. Helen says that she saw cities under the water and there is no land. Mariner says that the land is still there and he realized this from the drawings of the girl. Mariner gets on the motorboat with everything necessary and says he will bring Enola if she is alive. Helen says she can't let him go alone. Deacon tries to deal with the tattoo. Then he says to call a meeting. Mariner breaks into the territory of smokers. Deacon tells them that he had a vision and he saw the ground. Two smokers pay attention to the boat. Mariner jumps on them and drowns. Mariner goes inside and searches for Enola. Enola tells the smoker who guards her that they will come for her. Smokers realize that someone has got to them and start looking for Mariner. Deacon shows on stage as the key to their rescue. Then he tells the smokers to row. Mariner approaches the stage. He says he wants a girl. Then the man pulls out the explosives and threatens to drop them. While they are talking, Mariner ignites the explosives and throws them down. He says that Enola is his friend. The explosive falls into the fuel and everything catches fire. Deacon grabs the Enola and gets into the helicopter with her. Mariner prevents the helicopter from taking off. He takes Enola. Helen drops the rope on the aircraft. Mariner and Enola grab onto it, but Deacon grabs the rope too. Helen throws a rock and the smoker falls down. The smoker's ship goes down. Deacon shoots and hits Enola. The girl falls into the water. Smokers on motorboats are rushing to her. Mariner ties himself with a rope, jumps into the water, grabs Enola, and springs back into the aircraft. Old Gregor pronounces that the numbers on the girl's back are coordinates and indicate the land side. The team of heroes arrives on land. They land on the ground and find the settlements of the ancients. Enola sees her music box and says that she is home. Mariner tells the girl that it's time for him to go and this is not his place. The girl gives Mariner the box, kisses him on the cheek, and runs away. Mariner tells Helen that if he meets people like her with Enola, he will tell everyone about this place. He will say that one brave woman found land. Helen says he wants to give Mariner a name, Odysseus. Mariner sails away. Helen and Enola climb the highest mountain and watch him. They see an inscription saying it is Mount Everest. Subscribe to our channel so you don't miss our next video.